Very good afternoon, students. Today I am going to demonstrate you the circle of Willis, an arterial anastomotic circle. Okay, this is an best example of the arterial anastomosis, and this forms in the form of a circle, okay, hexagonal or polygonal structure, not exactly a circle, but it is known as circle of Willis, okay. Thus, the circle arteriosus or circle of Willis is a polygonal circle of arteries which is present in the interpeduncular fossa. So, this is the area which is called as internal peduncular fossa. It is formed by the posterior cerebral, posterior communicating. Okay, let me first tell you on a diagram and then I will show you this in the specimen of this brain. So let us see, this is the a diagram which I have drawn for the circle of Willis. This is the optic nerves, optic chiasma, optic tract. Okay, on the side of the optic chiasma, this is the anterior perforated substance. Posterior to the optic chiasma, okay, these on either side are the optic tract going towards the lateral geniculate body, and these are encircling on either side to the cerebral peduncle, and these cerebral peduncle on the right and left side, they are the part of the midbrain as seen from the ventral aspect. Now, in between the two cerebellar peduncle, this is an area which is the part of the interpeduncular fossa. Just behind the optic chiasma, this is the infundibular stalk, okay, towards cynarium. And then posterior to the infundibular stalk are two rounded bodies on either side of the median plane. They are called as the mammillary bodies, okay, they are known as mammillary bodies. Now this is the upper border of the pons which is hidden behind this artery. Then this is the basilar groove in which the basilar artery is lying. So this is the ventral aspect of the pons. And then here is the medulla oblongata, the pyramid, the olive, okay, and lateral to it will be the inferior cerebellar peduncle. Now, this is an area of the interpeduncular fossa which is bounded anteriorly by optic chiasma, on the anterolateral side by the optic tract, on the posterolateral side by this crus cerebri or the cerebral peduncle, and posteriorly by the superior border of the pons. So this small area is called as interpeduncular fossa because it lies between the right and left cerebral peduncle, which is the part of the midbrain. And if you see the content, they are very few. Here is the infundibular stalk attached to the median area towards cynarium, and then there are two mammillary bodies, and just behind the mammillary body, close to the superior border of the pons, there is a posterior perforated substance. And as I said, on the lateral side of the optic chiasma, this is the anterior perforated substance. And why they are called as perforated substance? Because of the penetrance of the small straight branches of these blood vessels, okay, this area appears as if pitted, okay, and perforated area. So that's why they are called as the anterior and the posterior perforated areas. Okay, once you have seen about the brain stem, okay, let us see how the circle of Willis is formed here. These are the two vertebral arteries, okay, right and left vertebral artery, which are coming from the subclavian artery in the neck. So these are right and left vertebral artery which lies on anterolateral aspect of the brain, the medulla oblongata. Here they give two branches, one from either side of the vertebra, and forms the anterior spinal artery, okay, which runs in the anteromedian sulcus, okay. And then here the two vertebral arteries of right and left side, they join each other at the lower border of the pons and form, this is the basilar artery, okay, this is called as basilar artery as it lies in the basilar groove of the pons. So this is basilar artery running from lower border to the upper border of the pons on its ventral aspect. Okay, now this pontine artery here gives a branch what is called as the superior cerebral artery, cerebellar, superior cerebellar artery. Okay, and this at the lower, soon after its formation, the basilar artery give this branch. Okay, and this is called as the anterior inferior cerebellar, anterior inferior cerebellar artery. Okay, and then this is the anterior inferior and this is the superior cerebellar. But then there is a third artery which will go to the cerebellum, and this is given by the vertebral artery itself. Okay, and that is called as the posterior inferior cerebellar or cerebellar artery. So these three arteries are the main supply to cerebellum: superior cerebellar, anterior inferior and posterior inferior cerebellar artery. They are main supply. While this bifurcation which takes place at the upper border of the pons of the basilar artery, this is called as the posterior cerebral on the right and left. Okay, posterior cerebral, because it goes to cerebral cortex, not to the cerebellum. The remaining branches were going to the cerebellum. Okay, so this is the posterior cerebral on the right side as well as onto the left side. Okay, then this artery is the internal carotid artery. That means here the branches of the vertebral arteries are over, because the brain is ultimately supplied by the right and left vertebral artery and right and left carotid artery. That means internal carotid artery. So this is the cut stump of the internal carotid artery which comes at the base of this anterior perforated substance. Okay, now this internal carotid artery then becomes continuous as that of the middle cerebral artery. So this is the middle cerebral artery, right, on the right side as well as on the left side. Okay, now this posterior cerebral artery, it unites with the middle cerebral artery, crossing to the optic optic tract and the cerebral peduncle anteriorly, and this is called as the posterior communicating artery. Posterior communicating artery. So this is the posterior communicating, which communicates with the two systems of the artery, that is from vertebral and the carotid arteries, internal carotid. So this is the communication between the internal carotid artery and the posterior, posterior cerebral artery. Then a branch is given by the internal carotid artery here, and this branch on right and left side then runs forwards and deep to the optic nerve, and this branch is called as the anterior cerebral. This is the left anterior cerebral, this will be the right anterior cerebral artery. Okay, now these two anterior cerebral, they try to go anteriorly towards the longitudinal fissure in front of the optic chiasma, and then they also interanastomose with each other. That and another arterial anastomosis takes place between the two anterior cerebral arteries, and this is called as the anterior communicating artery. So thus a circle type of interanastomosis takes place. Here it was the posterior cerebral interanastomosing with the middle cerebral, or here the branch that is anterior cerebral artery from internal carotid of right and left, they also interanastomose with one another, and that is through the anterior communicating artery. So there are two communicating artery, a posterior communicating which anastomose between the posterior and middle cerebral, and then there is an anterior communicating artery which anastomoses between the right and left anterior cerebral arteries. Thus, a circle or hexagonal or a polygonal circle-like structure is formed, and that is with the help of this. Okay, you can see that this is a circle which is just not a very circular in nature. Okay, it is this is posterior communicating between the posterior cerebral. So this is the posterior communicating, going and communicating with the posterior cerebral. Thus ultimately this is the posterior cerebral of this side, and these are the two anterior cerebral, this is the middle cerebral, this is the posterior cerebral, and this is the anterior cerebral. Ultimately a hexagonal type of or a polygonal type of the circle is formed. Okay, circle is formed. This is how the formation of the circle of Willis takes place. Okay, circle of Willis takes place. And at the same time, I would like to show you, before showing you this circle of Willis inside the specimen of the brain, let us see. This circle of Willis gives so many small branches from certain points. See this, I have drawn this small tuft-like structure which are the branches taking origin. And these branches which takes origin, they are called as the central branches. Okay, they are called as the central branches. Various type of the central branches which are taking origin. Okay, these are divided into various groups. This group of the central arteries, which are straight arteries, they immediately after their origin, they will pierce the deeper part of the brain and will go and supply the deeper structure. These central arteries are thus responsible for supplying the deeper structure. Means they will supply to the great nuclei, that means gray mass collection of the corpus striatum, that is the caudate nucleus, to the lentiform nucleus, to the thalamus, to the hypothalamus, and then it will also supply to the white matter, important white matter like the internal capsule. So these are the central artery, and they are supposed to be an end arteries. That means they will occasionally will anastomose only with each other. Otherwise, they are considered to be as end artery. That means if any of this branch of central artery, which are minute arteries, it is blocked, then the area supplied by this will die. Okay, so that's why it is their importance is there of these central, as they are called as central arteries. Now these central arteries, as I said, are divided into the various groups. Those arteries, straight small arteries, which are taking origin from the anterior commissure artery, which is joining the two anterior cerebral artery, or from the stump of the anterior cerebral, very close to this anastomosis. This group of the arteries, central arteries, is called as the anteromedian group of the central artery. Okay, anteromedial, AM I have written here. AM means anteromedial group of the artery. Similarly, the arteries and this will try to go towards the anterior perforating substance. Now those arteries which are taking origin from the posterior cerebral arteries, soon after its formation of right and left posterior cerebral artery, they are the central arteries which are immediately piercing the area of the posterior perforated substance. So they are taking origin from the posterior cerebral artery as well as from the a little part of the posterior communicating artery here. See, this is the posterior communicating. So this is from posterior cerebral and posterior communicating, and these arteries are perforating arteries in the posterior perforated substance. Okay, as I said that all these central arteries, they will supply the deeper part of the brain, nuclei and the white matter. Okay. These central arteries are in marked contrast to the anterior cerebral, the middle cerebral, and posterior cerebral, which are designed to supply the superficial part of the cerebral hemisphere, mostly the cortical part of the cerebral hemisphere, where various functional areas are located in the cerebrum. Okay, let us come. So we have covered anteromedial, and this bunch is called as posteromedial, which is perforating in the posterior perforated substance, right? Then there are anterolateral, right and left anterolateral group, which also comes out from the middle cerebral artery, goes towards the anterior perforated substance. They are called as right and left anterolateral. Their origin is from the middle cerebrum, and partly it may also arise from that of the stump of this internal carotid artery. Then there is a right and left posterolateral branches, and these posterolateral branches, they arise from that of this posterior cerebral artery after it is winding round to that of the cerebral peduncle. Okay, so this will go deep inside the inferior surface of the cerebral cortex, and while it is winding round, this will give many branches which are posterolateral central branches, which may pierce the cerebral peduncle and to the pons, okay, and to the pons. So there are many group of central, at least 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 group, 6 group. Anteromedial, posteromedial, anterolateral right and left, posterolateral right and left. These are the central artery which are important. Okay. Now beside this formation of circle arteriosus, and this is formed because of the an anastomosis between the branches of this vertebral and the internal carotid artery, and as you know that this anastomosis plays a very important role in the bypassing of the arterial blood if there is a blockage of the internal carotid artery on one side, or that of the vertebral artery, or the pontine artery on in this center. Okay, so this will keep on, that means through this anastomosis the blood will reach to the opposite side of the brain, okay, opposite, without any much interference in the blood supply. Okay, so this is the applied importance of the circle of Willis. Okay, first I will come and will try to show you the different branches of circle of Willis. Okay, and then I will tell you about the different area, different parts of the deeper parts of the brain supplied by these individual central arteries, okay, which have taken origin from this circle of Willis. So let us come and see the parts. And my idea was that first I should tell you about theoretically, and then now we are going to the brain proper, where these branches are difficult to visualize sometime, okay, difficult. So just I will try my best to show you all these branches, okay. Now this is the brain, which from where we are seeing from the base side, ventral aspect of the brain, and here, since in the removal of the brain from the cranial cavity, these two vertebral arteries are usually cut. See this cut end of the two vertebral arteries which are lying in front of the medulla. As I said, they wind round the lateral surface of the medulla as they come from foramina magnum, and then they join at the lower margin of the pons to form the basilar artery here. So this is the right vertebral artery, and this is the cut stump of the left vertebral artery. And from the vertebral artery, as I said, the posterior inferior cerebral branches are these which are lying here. So this is the posterior inferior cerebellar artery is here, which was taking. So it was also cut because the vertebral artery itself is cut here. Okay. Now at the lower margin of the pons, this is the pons, yes, and its lower margin of the pons, the right and left vertebral artery has united to form a single basilar artery. See this at the lower margin of pons going right up to the upper margin of pons. This is the basilar artery. Okay. And how this basilar artery is formed? It is formed by the union of the right and left vertebral artery. And then from this basilar artery, I'm say upper end, this artery is taking origin. Can you see this in the tip of my, I see, this is the brush, okay, and this artery is going, and on this side, just I will lift this artery, okay, this is another artery which is taking origin from the upper end of the basilar artery, okay. I will just pull this basilar artery downward to show you these branches. Can you see this branch now? This branch here and this, and let us see where it is going. Oh, it is going to the superior surface of cerebellum on either side. See this artery? This artery is going to the superior surface of the cerebellum. So, which branch it should be? It should be the superior cerebellar artery. It should be superior cerebellar artery. There will be the anterior-inferior cerebellar artery also. This is that anterior-inferior cerebellar artery. See this? This is the antero-inferior cerebellar artery. On this side it is very minute, branch is there or must have broken down. But we have seen that these were the two antero-inferior. This was antero-superior, and this is the antero-inferior of right and the left side cerebellar, which was not taking origin from the pontine artery or the basilar artery here, from the basilar artery, but it is taking origin from the vertebral, was taking origin. That's why it was cut during removal of the brain from the cranial cavity. So you have seen the three branches which are going to the cerebellum, okay, to the lesser brain, and minute branches which are broken here in removal of this, they are going to the pons, okay, on the ventral surface of the pons. Now this basilar artery will divide into two. See here, can you see this division? I will just put my this brush. This is on to the left side and this is on to the right. So the basilar artery is dividing into the right and the left posterior cerebral. Now it is cerebral, not cerebellar. So it is the right and the left posterior cerebral. So these are terminal branches here of basilar artery, bringing the blood from vertebral artery. So this is right and left cerebral artery. And then I will show you on either side of the optic chiasma. This is the optic tract. Optic nerve. This is the optic chiasma. And posteriorly mammillary body, I think you will not be able to see because it is into the depth. They are lying into the depth of this. Okay, it will need the removal of lot of structure. I don't want to remove those minute branches. Okay, so this on the lateral side of this optic chiasma, this is the cut stump of the internal carotid artery. Can you see this cut stump? I will hold it in finger. Yes. Just on lateral side you can see this cut stump of the internal carotid artery on this side as well as on this side. These are the two internal carotid artery, and these two internal carotid artery, they continue as such into the middle cerebral artery at the stem of the lateral sulcus. See this? This is the temporal pole and this is the frontal lobe. So in between is the stem of the lateral sulcus, and in this stem of the lateral sulcus, see this artery which is going here. Can you see this? This artery which is going here in between these two, and then it will run into the posterior ramus of lateral sulcus here. It is running in the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus. This is the middle cerebral artery. Okay, yes, in the bottom of this you are seeing the artery. And this is the middle cerebral artery which is running. So this is the posterior, posterior cerebral artery was here, and then as a continuation of the internal carotid, this artery is the middle cerebral artery on right side as well as onto that of the left side. Okay. Now then see the communication between this posterior cerebral with that of the middle cerebral. Can you see this communication here? See this? A very small branch is going and communicating. I am just stretching these two arteries. Okay, this is the branch taking origin, become tortuous here, and then communicating with the posterior cerebral and that width of the middle cerebral near the stump of the internal carotid artery. So this is called as the posterior communicating branch. Okay, I hope you have seen the posterior communicating branch is there. Now let us see where is the anterior cerebral artery which takes origin from the internal carotid or middle cerebral. Okay, it is here. Yes. See this. This is the origin of the anterior cerebral. Can you see this small part? The anterior cerebral artery. Taking origin from here, then running on the lateral aspect of the optic chiasma, then running on to the superior surface of the optic nerve, and I am just pulling these two optic nerves and optic chiasma downward so that I can trace the anterior cerebral artery. Okay, it is here. See this. This is the anterior cerebral artery which is highly tortuous. You can see this anterior cerebral artery going, and on this side let us see. Okay, yes, it is in the depth. Okay, this is the anterior cerebral artery. I will pull it up. So yes, you can see this is the from middle cerebral. Now this is anterior cerebral, or it is taking origin from the stump of the internal carotid artery sometime, and then this artery. Just a minute. I hope that it is not now seen. See this. I will just pull it here, and then we'll show you this communication. See this? I'm not communication. Sorry. This is the anterior cerebral artery. So this was anterior cerebral artery, which was very thin on this left side, but it is quite thick on the right side. And these two cerebral artery, anterior cerebral artery, they are going in the depth of the longitudinal fissure. Okay, they are going into, this is the longitudinal fissure. I will put my finger in the longitudinal fissure. Yes, this is that longitudinal fissure where I am putting my finger, and here these two anterior cerebral arteries, they are going. Okay, but when before they go, they are having an anastomosis with each other. That is through a very small stump of the anterior communicating artery. I will just lift it with the tip of this brush. You can see this very small communication. See, this right and left anterior cerebral artery, they are communicating with each other. So this is the anterior communication. Okay, I hope that you have seen all the parts of the circle of Willis. Now this is the time where I will show you those minute branch, anteromedian, posteromedian, anterolateral, posterolateral branches, that is the central branches, not the cortical branches, and they are so minute that usually they will get disturbed, they are broken. Okay, they are broken when we lift this, but still some of this you can see if the camera is focusing properly, then some of the branches which are taking origin from the posterior communicating and from that of the posterior cerebral, they are going towards the posterior. See, this one of this is on the tip of the forceps. I'm saying this tip of the breast. See, this artery, this kind of the thread-like structures, they will be going to the posterior perforated substance which is located here. So these are the central arteries, okay? While the cortical arteries, the anterior cerebral artery will go in the depth of the longitudinal fissure lying onto just above the corpus callosum. This will go into the stem and then to the posterior ramus of lateral sulcus. It is the middle cerebral artery here. This is the middle cerebral artery, while the inferior, posterior cerebral artery, which is the terminal part of branches from the this basilar artery, is going here. See this? This is going here. You can see this posterior cerebral artery. It is going here. See this? Going here, here, here. And this will go towards the inferior surface. See here? This is going here onto the inferior surface is the posterior cerebral artery. I hope that I have covered most of the part of the circle of Willis. Just I will review what are these branches? Posterior or central branches. Okay, because cortical is a separate demonstration. Cortical branches going to supply the various cortical areas is a, I will just tell you where this anteromedian, posteromedian, anterolateral or posterolateral branches are going deep inside to supply which is structure. Okay, this anteromedian going through this, going through the anterior perforated substance will supply the preoptic area, anterior hypothalamus. It will also supply the anterior limb of the internal capsule and corpus striatum. So these are the anteromedial branch. Let me have it. Anteromedian branches here. The anterolateral branches, which are on lateral side of the optic chiasma, they will also go through the anterior perforated substance and will supply to the head of the caudate nucleus, lentiform nucleus, anterior limb and genu of the internal capsule. Okay. And the posteromedial, which are in the midline here, the posteromedial branches, they will naturally pierce the posterior perforated substance, will supply to the thalamus, subthalamus and the posterior part of the middle and posterior part of the hypothalamus and to the midbrain, because midbrain is here. Okay, so this will also supply to the midbrain. And these posterolateral branches, okay, they will also go through the posterior, directly will take entry here into in the thalamus and to the midbrain, because there is no posterior perforated substance here, they are here, and they will supply the posterior part of thalamus, okay, pulvinar part, okay, posterior part of thalamus and the lateral part of the midbrain and the tectum. Okay, so mostly they will supply to the midbrain, the posterolateral, okay, but deeper structure. And as I said that the importance of these arteries, central arteries, that they are end arteries, okay, and they supply the deeper nucleus and the white matter. Thank you very much for watching this video on the Circle of Willis.